When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember.
Hello. Let's see, are we live?
When I close my eyes, I can almost see
Yes, yes, we are. I've confirmed it. Okay,
When I take a
great.
breath, you fill
Hello everybody, I'm Rix. We're gonna be making a Second Life avatar. Or rather starting the process of making a Second Life avatar. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sketch it out. So that's gonna take a while. That's gonna be like the first part of the stream. And in this stream we are going to be starting to make the model after I sketch it out. So first I'm gonna sketch it on Krita as a 2D drawing, sort of figure out what the concept is that I am going to make. Then I'm gonna load that as a reference image in Blender, and that's what I'll be modeling. So this first stream is going to be starting to make the 3D model. I doubt I'm gonna finish it today, because the plan is to make a fully, like, the plan is to make a sort of anthropomorphic furry character. So it is going to be a little bit of a complex model to make. I'm going to be doing all that is involved with it. This obviously includes UV unwrapping and all that sort of stuff. So again, probably they're gonna finish it in this stream. My plan is to stream once a week at this precise time of every Friday. What else do I need to say before we start? So yeah, you probably wanna skip these. Yeah, that's what I need to say. You probably want to skip this stream, this tutorial, this part, if you already know how to 3D model and all that sort of stuff. Social, that's another thing. You can follow me on For Affinity. That's Rakes in For Affinity. That would be REIIKZ. Or you can find my website in the video description. If you are watching me on Picarto, which I doubt, if you're watching me on Picarto, you can find all my socials in my website. That would be REIIKZ.net. That would be rakes.net. If you're on Odyssey, I'm streaming simultaneously on Picarto, YouTube, and Odyssey. If you're on Odyssey, my YouTube channel is Dragón de Ocho Cabezas. That would be in Spanish. My Odyssey channel is Rakes the Awesome 8-Headed Dragon. Sorry, Rakes the 8-Headed Dragon. No, it's actually Rakes the Awesome 8-Headed Dragon. I'm having a great part right now, doesn't matter. But regardless, you can find all my socials in my website. Again, REIIKZ.net. NET. There you will also find all of my notable work art. You'll also find a link to. I'm going to be posting all of the resources, be it code. I'm not going to be sharing the models, but I am going to be sharing some code snippets. You can find those at my website once we get to that. And you'll see the entire playlist of all the streams as they happen. You'll see them on my website. Great. So let's switch over to a folder. Start this. So I don't bore you, I'm gonna have some copyright-free music. I'm not a great commentator, so yeah. So I don't bore you, I'm gonna have some copyright-free music. I'm going to be looking at all the chats of both these streaming platforms sporadically. But if you want to join me on stream, you can. I am actually on a Discord voice chat, so if anybody joins, you can talk to me on stream. You can also ask questions. If anybody happens to come across this video by accident, this stream by accident while I'm actually streaming, you can join me on my Discord server and ask questions if you have any. The invite code will be in my website, and also in the video description if you're watching on Odyssey or YouTube. And one last thing is that I am gonna be making NSFW parts for this avatar, but they're not going to be on YouTube. Potentially not on Odyssey. I've got to figure out how to, if it's even possible to stream NSFW stuff in Odyssey. I actually have no idea about that. But they are for sure going to be streamed on Picarto. So if you want to catch the NSFW streams, either you can look at the archives on my website. They'll be with a proper warning, so don't worry. You can still look at it and not see any NSFW stuff if you don't want to. But if you want to see the stream as it happens, join my Discord server or follow me on picarto.tv. And that's it. Let's switch over to Krita. There we go. Krita. Hold on. Music is not functioning, I think. Give me a second. What happened here? It seems my audio routing. Yeah, there we go. Now it's working. It seems my audio routing program just kind of stopped working. Just kind of make sure that the audio levels are okay on the stream. Hello. All right, they seem okay. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit because I see the levels are not all that great. There we go. All right, let's get to it. My idea for this character was sort of kobold. So let's see what comes out. I've drawn quite a lot of kobolds with certain features. I have a sort of formula. I've designed a few kobolds with lore. So my idea right now is to make something related. So let's see. That's way too big of a head. Hopefully this part of the process doesn't take too long, and today we can get to a little bit of an interesting. If I can do this right, hopefully today we can get to an interesting part of this process. So let's have the eyes sort of there. And his body is gonna be sort of like this. The tail's gonna be like there. For this character, what I want is I want them to be sort of reptile-ish. To have a reptile-ish body. So what I'm gonna do for the legs is, instead of making them come out sort of there, I'm drawing them on the side. Please excuse my absolutely terrible sketching. Alright, so we're gonna have sort of these muscles there. And here are gonna be the feet. Look. Now maybe it looks like he has body that's a torso that's a little short. So let's bump this down a little bit. Make this torso a little longer like that. Yeah, I like that much better. He's also gonna be a bit muscular. That's another idea that I had. Hopefully it doesn't look too terrible because I haven't studied musculature a whole lot. Just enough to make some drawings look decent enough. So, well, we'll see. If in the end it doesn't look right in the model, what I'm gonna do is I'm just not gonna make him muscular in the end model, like the end result. One thing that I'm planning to do eventually, as we progress with this project, is I am going to make clothing for the avatar. And my idea with this is hopefully you can follow along and make your own avatar as this video series progresses, or live stream series rather. Let me check that we're still doing audio, right? Okay, I'm just gonna trust that the levels look okay in OBS. I'm just gonna trust that that's okay. If for some reason the stream is not going very well, I can re-upload it because oh, that's right, I forgot to hit record. Yeah, I wasn't recording for the first 17 minutes. That's awesome. Great. Doesn't matter. We didn't get too far, so if I need the recording for whatever reason, I can always just narrate what you guys missed. That's awesome. I forgot to hit record. I'm so smart. Right, so I know. Let's have his arms like sort of facing with his thumbs sort of facing forward. I want him. I realize I've drawn him with disproportionately large arms, but that's fine. I think I actually want that. So his spectrals need to be kind of a little large, because as I said, my idea for this character is to be a sort of tank kobold, if that makes sense. A little. So he needs to be a little huge. That doesn't make much sense. There we go. Any symmetry problems don't really matter all that much because, as I said, we are going to very quickly put this into Blender. So let's give him very stick. This is very quickly going to move over to Blender, so it doesn't really matter if it's not 100% symmetric, because at the end of the day we are going to model this and we are going to mirror it, so it's not gonna matter huge. Like any symmetry problems are not gonna show up in the 3D model, is what I'm trying to say. If you're curious, the music that's playing, it has come from the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds. If you want to get it, I've also put in the video description a link to a text file with the link to the channel and also the names of every song that's gonna be playing in the background. So let's see. There we go. Sort of like that. And let's sort of draw his tails. I want to give him a very long tail, but not hugely long, and it also needs to be kind of thick because of the type of character he is, right? So I think I am happy with this body type. Maybe clean this sketch a little bit. All right. You know what? I'm not happy with these abs. Let's redraw this. I'm not entirely convinced by their shape. Doesn't look quite as natural as I'd like it to look. Right? So he's gonna have his neck muscles here. His back muscles are probably gonna show up a little bit to the front if he's so muscular. I hope YouTube doesn't flag this stream because of this. That would be very lame. So I'm not drawing an SFW here. Right? And I'm thinking his size. For his size, I want to do something sort of like a gecko, where they're like big, like this, and a little off to the side. So that would be his head. And let's give him this sort of typical cobalt spikes. Something like that. But the problem here is that I'm looking at it from the front, so maybe we don't want it quite as to the side. So maybe more like that. And obviously it's also gonna have horns. It's a little bit difficult to draw because it's got to be 100% or almost 100% front view, because this is a reference for a 3D model. So we need a sort of orthogonal perspective here, so we can reference it when modeling. So I'd say his mouth goes up to like there, like right below his eyes. Yeah, I'm a little bit more convinced by this. Now, thing is, the rest of his arms need to look sort of like that. Right, this is very obviously not symmetric. I am perfectly aware that I could use the symmetry tool, the Krita symmetry tool, but that always results in a certain kind of look. that I'm not looking for right now. If the character ends up drawn a little bit off to the side, that's fine. That's fine with me. Something like that. But then we shouldn't see that because we have the arm there. And the same goes here. Oops. Now let's give him maybe actually, let's save this. I haven't saved it. It's a good idea. Hold on, guys. There we go. It's saved. Right? These horns are kind of terrible. They're gonna be a little bit towards the side, but not too much. Something like that. Okay, something like this. I think we're pretty much done here. I don't think we're gonna need a top-down view. But it's probably a good idea to draw a side view. So that's the one thing. Let's make another layer. And draw some like reference lines here. So we know where everything should be. And his shoulders. Yeah. Turn on the opacity. Pull it down. The music has gone away. Right, give me a minute. I'll try something. See if I can fix that.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you left my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you left my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my
Right? We're back. Hopefully that works. If it doesn't, I guess we're just not gonna have music this stream. Because I can't be interrupting every time this fails. I'm just gonna have to figure out something better for next time. Alright, let's continue. So, as I was saying here, probably want side view for the model. It's gonna be like very thick here, and I know here's gonna be the shoulder. And then the body is gonna follow sort of this shape. So the crotch gonna be around here. So you wanna extend this a little. Alright, that's incredibly annoying. It's alright, it does reconnect when I launch it. It's just when it gets disconnected, the audio stream appears again. It just doesn't work. Whatever. As I said, if the music stops, I am going to figure it out next time. So let's give him sort of tail like that. very thick tail. But and then his legs come out like this. And into his face. It's going. Still works, I don't know what. Cool. I realized I didn't make a line for his elbows. Let's do that. There you go. So his elbows should be around there. So that should be, all of this should be his arm. I don't think I'm going to make a reference for his hands, just because that's time consuming and I don't think I really need to, because just gonna give him a very basic design on that part. And because I don't want to cover the leg, that's as far as I'm gonna go with the arm. So I know this is his arm, right? Sort of like that. It's his shoulder. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend this canvas a little. Krita allows me. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Come on, there we go. Change. Gonna do this. Now I'm gonna keep proportions. There's just one space on the side. There we go. What I'm gonna do now is select this drawing here. I'm gonna copy paste it. And let's edit it a little bit. And again, I moved it holding shift so I know it's in the same height. So let's do his hand now. So his hand should be around here. It's around there, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So we got his arm. You know what? I probably want his tail a little bigger. Something like that. Yes. Yes, definitely. I like this a little better. Let's see, is there anybody watching this stream right now? No, that's fine. I just wanted to check in case somebody had commented something about this. Though I doubt it, but just in case anyway. Right? Let's see, what else do I want to... Oh yeah, the tail here should go lower. Sort of something like that. That's pretty okay. That's pretty okay, I'd say. It's not the greatest drawing, but it's pretty much what we need just to have an idea. So I think what I'm gonna do is crop to layer. We are now going to split this into three separate layers. That should be it. No, it's not. I'm stupid, I'm on the background. There we go. So now I am going to crop to layer again. And I'm going to grab. Oh, okay, that's awesome. I didn't expect that to happen. Yes, I'm moving the drawings first. And put them roughly in the same location. What I'm doing right now is preparing the images to use as a reference. So now I'll just invert selection. So we got that selected, image, crop to selection. What just happened? Oh, of course. Right. No, I am just being an idiot right now and using the program the wrong way. And also this was easier. I'm just being an idiot as always. There we go. Now let's export these images. So this would be front. So front view. Let's call this one side 2. This one side 1. Right? I am going to check whether I put them in the correct folder. I think I did. Okay, here they are. Cool. Actually, I'm not gonna close this. Let's launch Blender. Switch over to that. It's not capturing the window. There we go. Let's start a new file. And as always, with any new Blender project, the first thing you've got to do, and this is obligatory and it's a ritual, if you don't do this, your project will never get finished. And this is true. Every time I haven't done it, the project hasn't gotten finished. So what you do, you press X to delete the cube, the default cube, and then you press Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and you just add another new cube. Okay, this is very important. If you don't do this, the Blender gods will haunt you for the rest of eternity. All right. With that out of the way, let me figure out how to actually add a reference image. I don't. Oh, there it is. All right. So I just press Shift A, then you just go here, image reference, and let me fish through my files to find it. I know where I put it. It's just I haven't bookmarked it, basically. Still here. Almost there. Gonna bookmark it. Oh, okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me pull it. You know what? Second Life has a certain order in which you should, not order, but direction in which you should model things. I mean, you don't have to model them in that specific orientation, but the thing is, if you start with whatever orientation Second Life uses, it's easier on the long run. So I'm just gonna pull up another different Blender project. Just to check out which is the front. So that'd be -Y, and we are in -Y, so that's correct. So let's try that again. There we go. That makes much more sense. And now to the side, it doesn't matter which side, really, because we're gonna mirror it. So let's add the other two reference images. Right, and if I'm not mistaken, if you press N and then go to View, there should be an option to make the images appear in a certain orientation only. Maybe tool. It used to be on this menu. I just don't know if they moved it or if it's called different now. View load? Maybe? No. No, that's the 3D viewport. Alright, doesn't matter. I can figure that out later or just not do it at all. We can always just hide the reference images from the layer view. Alright. Let's one thing, because these images are, well, it doesn't matter if I move this one. I'm gonna move it in the x-axis just so I have the center of the character near the center of the near the center of the 3D cursor. Then I'm going to Shift A cube, then go to the modifiers here in this little wrench thing and click Add Modifier. And I am going to add, that would be on Generate, a subdivision surface. That's gonna create something similar to an icosphere. Let's move this the y-axis a little, just so it's not clipping through our model. And we are going to basically polymodel this. Did I save? Okay, let's save this. Before I was already getting way ahead of myself. Let's actually save the file. That would be a great idea. So let's put it here. Let's make a folder for the model. Model. Right, cool. Let's move it up a little, scale it down, not that much. BZ. Let's have this one moved in the x-axis. Actually, let's move both of them at the same time. So there we go. So they are in the same place. And the one I want to look at right now is not this one, this one. Right? So move it in the y-axis. To move it in, to lock into a specific axis, you press G to grab. Then you grab it freely, and then press Y, Z, or X to snap it to the respective axis. So press G, Y, and put it roughly where our little ball that we're gonna model this character out of is. One thing, the way I'm snapping the camera to this different perspectives is with the numeric keyboard. So if you're following along, just play around with the different number keys on your numpad, and you'll find out what each one does. Right? So let's go back to the side view. No, actually to the front view. Okay. So we probably want to grab these two faces here and extrude to get the arms. And I'm also considering whether I should model a single, like model the arm out of a different object and merge it later. I'm thinking that might be a smarter idea because of what I want to do with this model, so let's do that. What I'm going to include though is the head. So again, these two faces look like would be a good idea to extrude. So tap to go into edit mode, then number 3 to select faces, and then extrude. C to snap it, head snap it to the Z axis. Then S to scale. And look at that, we're already getting something that kind of looks like body. At this point, I'm also gonna start using the mirror modifier, so I'm gonna cut this in half. With Ctrl R, you see what this new line appears, and it's related to whether, like, where I put the cursor. I'm gonna put it here in the middle. That way I can cut out one part of the model, one side, and mirror it. Remember, we want to be looking at this from Y minus, because that would be looking at the front of the object, and that'll change depending on what 3D engine you're exporting that to. In this case, it's going to be Second Life, so we want to be looking, to look at the front, we want to look at Y minus. So just reminding you of that. Now we're gonna press Alt Z to go into X-ray mode, and click and drag to select the vertices on one side, and X to delete them, delete vertices. And now if we press Alt Z again, we can see we have a hole in the model. Now we're gonna go to the modifiers, then generate mirror. There we go. We have the mirror of the object. If you scroll down here, you can see you can set it to mirror on many different axes. Right now we only want to mirror it in the x-axis. Okay. So what this does is that if I now press select this face, for example, and press E to extrude, you see I'm extruding it in both directions. That way, this is gonna give us the symmetry that an anthropomorphic creature has. Right. Cool. Okay. I'm trying to do as much as possible while in this sort of low poly version. See, this is one problem that you can encounter whenever you try to scale something that's mirrored. You may get these gaps in the model. That should be easy enough to fix if you just grab the vertices that have moved that way. You can press G and then I think it's S, and then the axis they moved along, and then 0. That's right. You can also just press N to open this sidebar menu and send them to the 0. There we go. Scaling them to 0, what that does is it makes sure that along an axis they don't have a difference in the position they have relative to each other. That's specifically when you select two vertices. So what I was trying to do here is make his neck. So extrude his face again. And what's happened here is they've separated. Let's delete that face so it doesn't separate. Go. Straight mode, so we edit one thing at a time. And these vertices we don't want to move them inwards or outwards because we're going to split the model in half. So I'm going to snap them to the z-axis. So with these ones, they move in the x-axis. There we go. We probably want there. Face we can extrude forwards for the muzzle. Probably want more geometry along here to give us the shoulders and the rest of the neck. Let's divide it again. What I'm doing there is Control R and then click with the mouse located nearby. Right, that's looking more like it. I know it looks weird when you look at it this direction, but we'll fix that later. How are we doing with the streams? Alright, all of them are going fine. Oh. I'm gonna close Krita because I'm no longer using it. There we go. So where were we? We know the chest is gonna go probably up to here. The rest is his arms. Now let's scale these in the z-axis to 0. You see what I said earlier, that make sure that all the vertices are in the same location relative to each other in an axis. That way I can extrude this. Okay. Delete this face. Yeah, face, there we go. So extrude that again. That's probably enough. There we go. Take that face. So right. Let's adjust this perspective now a little bit. It's very strange that these vertices have moved that. So we do a set 0. That fixes that. I don't know what happened here really. Oh, of course. Move it. There we go. Okay. smudge his body a little better. See why these sketching the character out phase was important. I now have a very clear idea of what his body shape should be. You know what? One thing I'm doing that I'm not liking is kind of moving these to different locations, to different heights, perspective to each other, and now I'll try to keep them at the same height. So let's move them along the y-axis. GY. If I can do it, there we go. Gonna need a little bit more geometry here. Right, and we're gonna extrude this face probably. It is taking shape. It looks very odd right now, but that's fine. Now, still, I'd like to extrude a single face here. So I'm thinking I might get rid of this. Fix this. Now, where is this? There we go. Let's fill that in. To fill it in, you have to select at least 3, because that's the minimum vertice count for a polygon, and then press F to fill. Right. And instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to move this further down. So GZ, there we go. Yeah, that is a little bit more convincing, and now I can stretch his tail instead. But before that, I'm going to exit out of edit mode with tab. Let's select this image and move it further back because I don't. It's kind of in my way, and it doesn't. If we go to orthogonal perspective, you can see it doesn't really change. Because of the perspective, it doesn't really change the reference, like how far the image is. So that's fine. So select this, go back to edit mode with tab, then yeah, this is fine. Let's extrude this for the tail. Let's rotate it a little bit each time we extrude it to naturally get the shape of the tail. The shape of the tail doesn't really matter all that much right now because we are going to rig it later, so it's just gotta have a consistent amount of geometry all throughout. or somewhat consistent, and it should be fine. Making it a little bit smaller along the way. And what I'm doing here again is E to extrude, then G to grab, and S to scale. It's probably fine, like it maybe a little longer like that. Give it a little bit more geometry just in case. Let's, yeah, probably give it a little bit more geometry. On each step here. Yeah. Yeah, much more convinced by that. Just manually move it a little bit to make it more rounded. And because I'm in orthogonal perspective and with X-ray mode on, when I select these, I'm selecting both of the vertices here. I know this is square. We're gonna fix that in a minute. And I'm gonna cheat a little bit here, bringing this one here a little bit up. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. Maybe you're doing a different type of character. Maybe you're doing a human. It doesn't matter what you're doing. All the steps that we're gonna be taking later that are not related or not that related to Blender to upload this to Second Life, they are the same for any other character you could make. I think I'm happy with this. Let's look at it. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Yeah, that's funny. It looks like it has two tails, and I kind of like that idea. I would do it. I would go for it if it wasn't for Second Life's restrictions on the skeleton. So what I'm gonna do right now is just delete all these faces. And let's go to the top-down view. Make sure all of these are scaled to 0 along the x-axis and are set to 0 in the x-axis. That way they're in the exact center and doesn't create any gaps. What happened here? I just didn't select these vertices, I guess. Alright, cool. At this point, I think I'm going to leave it like this and start doing the arms, or a single arm rather. So we're gonna do the same thing. Before I add anything though, you see I've transported the 3D cursor somewhere else by accident. I keep doing that. I need to go into Blender settings and make it so the 3D cursor doesn't change location by me clicking. It's kind of annoying. So the way to change that is you press N to bring up this menu, then go to View, and then in this tab here, 3D cursor, you can set its location and rotation back to 0. You see I selected all of these values at the same time. To do that, you just click and drag from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, it doesn't matter. And then you can type whatever value and it'll put the same value in all three. Alright, now let's do the same thing for the arms. So press Shift A, Mesh, Cube, add modifier, generate, subdivision surface. Then we're gonna cut it. We did it later with this one. It doesn't really matter when you cut it. So Control R. Again, tap to go into edit mode, Control R, and then just bring your cursor close to the edges to make a loop. Then Alt-Z to go to X-ray mode, select one side, press X to delete vertices, and then add modifier, generate mirror. If you're not in the modifiers tab, it's this one here. You can see the tooltip, and also it's the one with the wrench icon. And now we have our subdivided cube again. Right. Let's move this over here because this is our shoulder. It's smaller. And let's rotate it so it matches the direction of the arm. The resting pose of this kobold is gonna be a little whack because of these huge arms, but that's fine. It's a furry character after all, it doesn't need to be accurate. So let's start extruding. Extrude. This is gonna be our forearm. Forearm, I could never remember which is which. Let's here. Let's fix that mess. So face selection. That the shortcut for face selection is number 3 on your normal numbers on your keyboard. Select the faces. Okay, what's going on here? What I do wrong? Well, I said it in the first video, in the intro video. I'm not a professional, so I don't really know what I've done here, but it looks this way. I mean, because it's mirroring it, but I don't see why it should do this. What happens if I apply the rotation? Right, that's fun. Let's try that again. Add modifier and generate subdivision surface. Let's do that without mirroring it first. Actually, why? I just realized. Y'all are probably yelling at the screen, why am I mirroring this? I am stupid. I'm sorry. It happens, it happens. Also, my 3D cursor is on the wrong place again. Mesh cube, generate subdivision surface. And yes, I realize I could have just gone here and moved it from here, but oh well. Right? Ooh.
Don't forget about me and all the things I could give.
we're already an hour into this, and we've barely done. Don't know that much, so yeah. I said it was gonna be a process. It is. So extrude this, scale it down a little. Rotate, maybe extrude it. Rotate with R. G to grab, S to scale. So here's our arm. Alright, it is taking shape. Probably wanna make sure this guy actually has a shoulder. So let's quickly try to fix that. Oops. Let's do probably something like this and make this larger here. It doesn't matter all that much how, like, what the geometry looks like inside the model, because we're gonna measure it later. We just need this guy to actually have a shoulder. That's good enough. Now, because if you look at the drawing, because I've drawn his shoulder, his elbow sort of outwards, that means his hand should be, his palms should be facing backwards. So if you are not sure about this, all you can do is extend your arms and sort of put them in the same position as this character, where your elbows are facing forward, outwards from your body, so to the sides, and you'll see your hands will naturally want to have the palms facing towards your back. So let's do the same thing for the palms. Another cube, subdivide it. If I can find the subdivision. There we go. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, more singing. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make.
Alright. Sorry about that. Back. Let's continue. And looks alright. Particularly, I've drawn his placeholder hands quite small. I think I wanna go for something a little bigger. Scale it. Not in this direction actually. In the y-axis. So that's gonna be his hand. Oops. And we know that the thumb should start a little lower than the pinky. So it should have sort of this trapezoidal shape. I've only modeled the hand once, so let's see how this comes out. Let's put it here. And I think what I'm gonna do instead of trying, so that would be my palm. That would mean that the hand's a little bit too huge. Let's make it a little smaller. And instead of making the fingers come out of the, I just realized that I done this backwards. Nothing a little rotation can't fix. There we go. Because again, if his palms are facing backwards, that means that his thumb is gonna be facing inwards towards his body. So I think what I'm gonna do is the more subdivided cubes and make each finger individually, then merge it together. That makes sense. So again, add modifier, generate subdivision surface. I'm gonna go through each one of these, make sure the render has the same amount of subdivisions. Not like I'm gonna render it, but still. I am probably actually gonna render it, but once we're fully done with the model, and that's gonna take quite a few hours. And obviously his finger's not this thick. So let's scale it. Let's call this his thumb. Go to a orthogonal view, so I only rotate it one axis. What I'm gonna do is press Shift D to make the direct articulation of that thumb. That's probably way too huge. And I think I'm gonna give him 4 fingers, like a caricature. This is meant to be a sort of caricaturist model anyway. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna duplicate with Shift D again. And just rotate these things in place. So, and this is gonna be a bento avatar, so this is missing 1 articulation. So the thumb only has 2, so it should only have 2. Maybe this one should be a little smaller. There we go. But the rest of the fingers on your hand are gonna have 3 articulations. And so do bento avatars, if I'm not mistaken. So let's make sure our model reflects both reality and our target system. So something like this. And let's give him a set of 3. Alright, that sort of looks like a hand. Does it? I mean, not at all, but we'll fix that in a minute. I'm thinking they look a little flat, so let's select them all. Let's scale them in the y-axis. There we go, that's better. You know what? I'm gonna delete all these. I'm gonna do this. I'm going to edit these once, add a loop, and I'm gonna grab these vertices and move them along the y-axis. So I'll make this look as like a finger, and then I'll copy it like I did a minute ago. What I'm doing here to slide along the edge of the model, slide the vertice along the edge, is double tap G, and this happens. Sort of snaps to the edge, so that in case you didn't know that, there you go. That's how you do that. Alright, so we know the bone is sort of gonna pop out a little here. May want that. Let's add another thing here. A little bit more geometry. Now it's getting a little complex for just a finger, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not that much geometry yet, and the closer we can get it with low amount of polygons, the better. right? We are doing fine. Let's see. Let's do the rest of this finger. So let's add those loops. Looks fine. I know this has to pop out a little bit. This is going to be the, what's it called? The fingertip. And I'm thinking, this is a kobold, right? So his fingers need end in claws. So let's merge all these at the center. Add a loop. Never mind. Add a loop, and then we merge all these vertices at the center. There we go. Now we can add a loop. Not there. Here. And grab these. Sort of push them inwards and up. So W, subdivide, so add a subdivision here. And I know it looks like a lot of geometry just popped up here, but those are triangles, that's fine, because all these are triangles anyway. Second Life does not support anything that isn't a triangle, so they are going to get turned into triangles at some point, so it doesn't really matter what happens here. There we go. See what I'm trying to do here. So, and I added these loops so I can curve the claw in that direction. Now let's make this look more like a finger. Right, because it's a little square right now. And it needs not be.
Don't you think we could be different if we could just take it slow, let it go, roll down all the windows, feel the wind rushing through, hear the music, take the groove, don't you know all I'll ever really
And I'm thinking it might be a good idea to make the claw a different model. So if we make it part of the model like this, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have, so what's going on here? Okay, so if we leave it like this, what's gonna happen is if we want to change the color, we're gonna have to edit the thing. We're gonna have to edit the faces individually in Second Life, which is something you can do, but it's probably best if we don't. That way it's more customizable for the end user of this model. So what I'm gonna do is go to here. And that's definitely an interesting shape. I don't really know why Blender decided to do it this way. Let's see. How do I separate this? It might have been smarter to do that from the get-go, but here we are, so I'm not very smart anyway. Wish I could just put my viewport inside there. There we go. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna move these vertices inwards. And then I'm gonna select the edges and cut the edges out. That'll make this into two separate pieces. And then from there I can separate it and make it its own thing. Which is also gonna help with it's also gonna help with making it's also gonna help with making this with duplicating it to make the rest of the stuff. And that's interesting. I'm gonna skip this song because I'm not sure. It's from the NCS channel, but I'm not sure if I should be playing that one. I don't know what happened earlier. My audio routing got disconnected, but now it seems to be working. Oh, that's good. It should be. Sorry about that. I coughed. My throat isn't too happy right now for some reason. Probably because I've been talking non-stop for an hour and a half. Right, I'm going to scale this on the z-axis to 0. There we go. And there's a way of separating this. Let's see. What I did here is press F3 to bring up the search menu. This way you can search options and functions in Blender. Killer feature, by the way. Every program should have, with a million options like Blender, should have this. Let's see, loop cut and slide. I don't think this is. Yeah, no, this is not what I'm trying to do here. Maybe separate. Oh, that's right, I can separate by selection. I can... Oops. Yeah, that. Okay. So... select these faces. My genius, I could have done this from the beginning. Alright. So select these faces. Then separate by selection. I am very smart. Alright, so I think it's Alt P. No, Control P? Not P? Okay, it's just P without a modifier key. And then by selection, that makes this a different model. Cool. And we retain the subdivide modifier. That means I can edit this a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it as is there. What this means now is that I can reuse this claw, which I am going to. That song that I skipped was by Jim Joseph, by the way. If YouTube claims the AdSense revenue, or somebody claims the AdSense revenue from this video, talking of the YouTube stream specifically, not the Odyssey one, that'd be funny. I don't think it matters. To me, at least, because it's not like I'm getting any AdSense revenue to begin with. So... yeah. The makers of this music want the AdSense revenue, that's fine. I'm not really doing this for that anyway. So I don't have a following, so that's fine. Just doing this for love of art and making sure that there is a complete tutorial on how to make a Second Life avatar available for everybody to see and use and follow in YouTube and other platforms too. If you want to refocus, if you lose your camera's position, if you want to refocus on something, you can select a vertice or an object, and then press period on the numpad, and it'll focus the camera on that. Just throwing random tips at ya. It's not too loud, is it? No, it's not. Okay. It's getting paranoid about the audio levels. Because this music is a little loud. I might be doing a version of this tutorial that's sped up and all cut out. That'll be someday. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it in the first place, but there is an idea to do that. Let me know in the comments of these streams whether you'd like that. See people that are watching on Picarto. Hello. You can join me in the stream in my Discord server. That would be on my website. I am going to put it in Picardo's chat right now. Give me a second. There's a redirect to my Discord server. If you want to join a Discord call in the stream while I do this, there it is. What I'm doing here, actually, I think I'm just gonna merge these at the center. There you go. This is also suffering from being a subdivided cube, so let's make sure it's not a square. This is it outside. Yeah. This is just the Blender part. The Second Life part is going to arrive later when we actually have a functioning model that's already rigged. And all we've got right now is a shape. It doesn't even have legs. I just got hung up on the fingers for some reason. As always, getting distracted, but that's fine. It's fine because it's going. This is something that if I do now, I don't have to do it later, and it doesn't really matter at what point I do it. So I'll probably touch up this finger a little more, and then move on to keep going with the rest of the model. Change it up a little. Alright, let's add like to this guy. Oops. Yeah, 3D cursor. It's getting on the wrong place. So wait. Okay. Either I move the image or I move the model. That's great. It's just select the model again and make sure it's at the center. That's awesome. Whatever. I'm just gonna move the image instead. It should be about there. No. About there. Okay, cool. The 3D cursor is again somewhere else. Let's add another cube. And I've run out of coffee. No! Run out of coffee. It's water time. Excuse me. Water time. So generate again subdivision surface. Let's have this guy here.
We're doing alright. When we are apart, we always do the same dance.
We're only gonna do one side because it's gonna be mirrored later, so that's why there's only one arm. And in fact, it might be smarter to do this on the other side. Wait. No, actually, no. I forget I said that. Screwed. And this is actually needs to be rotated in the Z axis 90. No, minus 90. So that's gotta face forwards, of course. So there's my leg. Let's add another subdivided cube or Arnie. I'm being stupid. Hold on. There we go. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna copy the X location, paste it, so I know it's perfectly aligned. And this is just a little sort of placeholder thing, so it's not gonna be facing fully forwards. As you see in the drawing, it's a little bit off to the side. That's normal, that's okay. It's because it's based more of a sort of reptilian-ish body, so his legs are naturally just gonna be a little sideways. Gonna duplicate this, rotate it, and the x-axis, y, z, rx. There we go. And that's our digi leg. We can adjust its shape later. Let's see, let's complete this leg. Let's make sure it also matches at least a little bit the reference. Doesn't have to be entirely accurate, but to the reference, that is, because it's just a little sketch. What I did there is I duplicated it again, and I'm gonna remove its rotation. What I did, I removed its rotation, set it all to zeros in this item panel. You can bring this up with N or pressing in this little tab here. So, and I said it in the beginning of the stream, I'm snapping the camera with the numpad. That's just a normal Blender shortcut. So let's scale this along the z-axis. Scale it back down. So make it match its feet a little better. There we go. Now this has got completely the wrong shape, that's fine, I will fix that. Control R to make a loop. Control Shift right click, by the way, or Control Shift select, whatever your selection key is, to do this loop selection. It's not the loop selection, it's the, as it said, like down below here, shortest path, but I call it the loop selection because even though it's not the loop selection, and there is an actual loop selection, just do that because I am dumb. Right, because this is a leg, we should have, this should be mostly bone, so it doesn't need to be, to have all that many features. But it does need a little muscle. So let's quickly try to make sure it's not. That's right. At this point, it might be a good idea to mirror this. So let's cut this. Vertices and add a mirror modifier. I generate mirror. Right, that makes sense. Let's scale that. Here you go. Now, why are you doing this? Why? So because, oh, probably because the subdivision is applied after the mirror? Does that make any difference? No. Why doesn't it though? Yeah, it's definitely not the subdivision. It's probably the center. Let's change the center to volume. Yeah, if I now I mean, I could always just start over. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Yeah. I think I'm just being a bit on them. I mean, I can just close this like that. Yeah. Nothing. I'm just being a big dum-dum, and what happened is I was trying to extrude the cube there, which is not really a thing. Like these vertices were part of a base that I just had rotated, so that's why it was refusing to come together. Let's bring this back to the same location, scale like that. Right, should be moved backwards a little. Not that much. There we go. DG leg. It's coming together. Yeah, let's add another subdivided cube. Subdivision surface. This is gonna be my foot. There, foot. Is coming together. One thing that I'm still very far from it, but one thing I'm looking forward to doing is making clothing for the avatar once it's done. Because that's and I'm looking forward to it because that's something that there isn't a tutorial in, well, anywhere that I could find in the form of a video tutorial. There just isn't. I saw one, but it was about clothing for a specific avatar and they were using these paid add-ons like bento body and stuff. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, actually, is because there isn't really a tutorial that's comprehensive and also not using these paid add-ons where you want to make something, you've got to pay and not small sum of money to even access the tools to do it. So I've decided, once I figured out how to make a mesh model for Second Life and all that, I've decided I was going to, at some point, make a tutorial on how to make an avatar for Second Life from scratch, using only Blender and generally free and open source tools. That way people don't have to pay a dime to create if they are willing to deal with doing a lot of things manually. And really, all I've seen, in my opinion, these add-ons are available for. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on here? Oh, I see. I see. Faces. There we go. So as I was saying, all these add-ons are available. Oh, that's an income, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, all these add-ons are available for Second Life. For Blender specifically, they don't do, from what I've seen, I should say, from what I've seen, they don't do a whole lot. I mean, they do, but they don't justify the price, to me, that is, because all they do is things like they have like a preset model ready set up for you to use for your creations, maybe as a base model, stuff like that. That, I mean, to me, that doesn't really matter, because that's not much value to me, because of the type of character I would like to make. This one, for example, it's a furry character. A humanoid skeleton will only go so far, and it's all that geometry. You see this character, for example, it has a humanoid-ish shape. It is an anthropomorphic character, but it's, you know, its chest, for example, it's completely triangular and stuff. So it doesn't really help all that much to have a pre-made humanoid model. And that's pretty much all these add-ons do, aside from having some export tools and stuff. And I just don't find them useful, and especially quite expensive. So yeah, I just decided I was gonna do this without them and put it out there, so there was a tutorial available for people to reference whenever they wanted to I mean, it may not be a great tutorial, 'cause, yeah, I'm not a professional 3D artist or anything, but it's at least something for the people who want to create stuff for this game. And it's crazy that it's survived so long, because of how janky it is. The whole system that they've got in place, how the avatars work and all that, it's really janky, and I'm surprised people even put up with it. I mean, I am here putting up with it right now. I would, because I intend to upload this there, and yeah, it sure is a thing. I just don't know how to describe it. There's so many caveats and stuff to it that are just unnecessary. And you'll see that later when we get to set up the rig for Second Life. That it's just there's just a lot of things that are just unreasonable about how avatars work in Second Life. And that's what I'm doing, by the way, for the 3 Picarto viewers. Second Life avatar. If there is any viewers at all, because I really don't trust this. I don't know who else could have the stream open other than me. I'm just not trusting Picardo. If there's actually somebody there that well, don't feel offended, because I'm just not trusting Picardo. Not you. I have an Odyssey channel, by the way. You should totally go check that out, because it's another platform that's not YouTube, and they are better than YouTube by virtue of not being YouTube. And a lot of kind of big creators, YouTube creators that is, have moved to, or at least are uploading simultaneously on there on Odyssey. So that's great, because we have more options, and that's always good. As I was saying, you should go check me out there, because I am uploading my stuff on Odyssey too, and I am actually streaming on Odyssey right now. Just a plain better platform than YouTube. On certain things, that is. They obviously don't have quite the kind of creepy, to be honest, recommendation algorithm and that sort of stuff. They don't have. The UI can be kind of janky in mobile, but that's pretty much all the bad things about it. It's really easy to use. How did I end up talking about Odyssey? I was talking about Second Life. And the addons, I was talking about the addons. You know what? I'm gonna make a creative decision here. I'm gonna deviate from the reference. I'm gonna make him a little taller by changing the angle at which these things are, because it just doesn't convince me. It looks like his legs are permanently flexed. That's to me, that is. That's why I'm changing that. I think that looks better. Yeah. Right. This should also not aim exactly towards. Should have a slight angle, but only slight, like a. And it also should look like it's following the, like the center of mass would be around here, so the feet should be about in that location too, so around there. How long have I been streaming this? 2 hours? Let's go, what, at least see. We can get somewhere meaningful. I mean, we've got a leg, so that's progress. I'm thinking the head. I'm gonna make another separate piece for the head. So, going to merge these vertices and just make this be the neck. Actually, I think I'm gonna leave it like that for the neck. And just sort of clip the head there. So let's add another cube. Oops, that's right. That was an edit mode. I added the cube to the cube bit. So generate subdivision surface. Yeah, that's fine. Once I'm happy with the shapes, I'm gonna merge it all, fix up the geometry, and obviously mirror it. Let's see. Through this. Fine if the head has a bit more geometry than the rest of the body, because it's naturally something that you're gonna be looking at a lot. So it should have a little bit more geometry. In my humble opinion. The point of polymodeling this is having, hopefully ending up with a little bit more of an optimized model. That is so derpy. It looks like a dinosaur head to me for some reason. Like a, oh, you know what this looks like? Like a pea shooter. You know what? I could totally turn this into a pea shooter avatar. That pea shooter, I'm talking a pea shooter from Plants vs Zombies. I might be doing that later. It's just a matter of making a new head. Just make it a kobold / pea shooter avatar. That would be so funny. I'm not gonna touch this side, but I am gonna be making this. Right. If I I'm touching all the wrong circle. If I try to remove the, can I add a mirror and will it behave? Yes, it will. Good. That means I can edit this a little bit easier. Giving him a little bit more of a snout than the original, but that's fine. I'm actually doing that on purpose. In the original than the reference. That's the reference I made in the beginning of the stream was mainly just for to have a rough idea of what I was gonna model. Now the eyes gonna be sort of around here. And this part is gonna be interesting. So I have no idea how I'm gonna model that. So far, it is starting to look more like a kobold kid. Oh, that's right. This mess. I think kobolds should have this much of a jaw. Do you? I don't think so. These the middle, so should have this part of the head move down. The eyes going to be around here, so we need this part to pop up. Maybe I'll be more geometry here. Maybe even more. Yes, 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 yes. This is starting to take form.
Be quiet. I hear the thunder that comes from far away. It's like a noise in my head. Oh, this world hides, this world hides. It cuts you deep and leaves the sky. Oh, this world hides, this world hides. It cuts you deep and leaves the sky. Curtains fall apart and it frees your heart. It's no longer the same. Curtains fall apart and it frees your heart. It's no longer the same. We need to get out of here.
It's taking that cobalt shape slowly but surely. Let's continue.
We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. All we need to do is to get out of here.
Maybe I can, yeah, do that. Make it easier to edit. If you were yelling at your screen, asking why I didn't do that earlier, well, I'm stupid, alright? The thing is, see, it looks like it's looking forward. That's alright, it should, but not that much. So, let's see if I can figure out this shit.
Curtains fall apart and it frees your heart. It's no longer the same. Curtains fall apart and it frees your heart. It's no longer the same. We need to get out of here.
Take me up to heaven.
Well, cobalt-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, she got me reaching still. Nothing to stop me falling. Who knew that looks could kill? I don't wonder why I'm breathing heavy like the weight of it's on my chest. On my chest. Cause it ain't no lie. I need it more than any metaphor could express.
Now, to address this. I should turn on proportional editing instead of suffering like this. Yeah. The only problem with this is I'm using a tablet and don't have a way of changing the sphere of influence. Now, what is it? Oh, it's so. Yeah, that's starting to look more like what I need here. There's something that's still bothering me about his face, though. I think it may be a little too pushed. That makes any sense? Yeah. Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? At least it looks better to me. the division between those three sort of formed things. So this would be one. I'm curious what this cube looks like. Yep, definitely could not have modeled this without the aid of this wraparound mode. It's so much easier. How are we doing here? We're fine, we're doing fine. A little bit more detail here. How are we doing on geometry? I'm curious. Let's turn on the statistics. Only 400 triangles, that's very good. Although there's barely any detail in this, there's still a long way to go.
Falling short, diving deep. Where is the water taking me? Trying hard, bittersweet. Cabin fever
Ah,
spinning me.
there we go.
To hold on to something greater. I feel the waves come crashing in. I'm drowning, drowning, drowning.
You know what? I think it could be a good idea to go sculpt a little here. Smooth it out. Let's see. Yeah, definitely worth the sculpt there. It's much more. Maybe we can dig into here. Sculpt mode. F to change the size of the brush. Here you have your different brushes. The one that I just used is this one. It's this brush that helps you smooth things out. Now, this brush, for example, is to make a bump, but if you press Ctrl, it makes a divot, and that's true for all the brushes. If you press Ctrl, they do the opposite operation. I don't like sculpting into meshes like this one all that much because it makes it so easy to cross deformity on the model, and it's difficult to hit fix like it's doing here. Let's try to bring this out, smooth it out. And the problem, because this is a mirrored mesh, oh, did they fix that? Does it no longer make the mirror mesh stick? Like form a thing here? Separation. It looks like it didn't. Cool, cool. How are we looking? Needs to be dug in a little bit more. Just like that. Oh, that's exactly what it looks like. Cool. Same here. I just need to make this not incredibly thick, because it's not, or it should be. And we're pretty much finished with the head shape. Obviously later we've got to model the mouth. So this is gonna be a bento avatar after all, so and it's gonna have a mouth, so yeah, figuring out and animating the tongue is gonna be fun. Not really, but I hope there's one more. I haven't looked at how many bones that are available for the mouth, for the bone, for the tongue, but I hope there's a couple at least, because I think it could be fun to make this character able to have a huge tongue that just retreats inside its mouth. Right. If I go to edit mode and select mesh shading smooth faces, what's that look like? It looks pretty okay. Maybe this is looking inwards too much, or is it? No, it's not. It's not. It looks pretty similar to the reference here. Maybe this one. Yeah, like that. Let's move this head. Now it's actually got the shape, so I think I need here is to bring this out a little. This area.
finally put it away. Now you right back in my face. Yeah, I'm done with all that you can say. Yeah, so leave me alone. 'Cause I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know where you go. I don't wanna know. Yeah, it was an illusion now. You're leaving all the doors locked out. Yeah, I don't wanna know. Yeah, I don't wanna know.
Let's address this mess here. I want to bring this out a little. And then bring this in. Yeah, like that. I wanna leave. We've been 3 hours working on this, or I've been 3 hours working on this. I want to leave this head shape sort of finished, and we'll be done for today. Definitely gonna need more geometry around this area because ice, but it's okay. C to select this way, by the way. See us in our lane. So the nose, I'd like it here. So let's bring this out. This in. What I want is a sort of a divot here. And that's here and here. And that's gonna give me the idea of that being the nose. But because I'm working with so little polygons here, I can't. Can't mess up too much. Like, I don't have as much leeway, is what I'm trying to say. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see what that looks like with the body. So if I select all these hues, and then press tab to go into edit mode, select it all, then go mesh, shading, smooth faces. That's currently what our cobalt looks like. It's not that bad. It's progress. Certainly progress for a good 3 hours. I think I'm gonna leave it here, and next time we're going to continue this model. Hopefully, retouch his body, give him a little bit more of a body, because right now it's just like, yeah, that's kind of square still, and you know, make this an actual leg and not just the generic shapes like we did with the head, and keep doing the hand and actually finish the hand. But it's going. Next stream is going to be next Friday at the same time, 5 p.m. GMT -3. You can convert that to your time, and yeah, I'll see you next Friday. Bye.